you could reuse it. So I could take that, I could take that calendar and just create a single instance of it and reuse it through the entire loop. The thing you have to be careful of is if that object is mutable, you can get yourself in trouble, because then one of those listeners could change it, and anybody who happens to be called afterwards could get stung by that change. They'll see the change. And what you really want to do is fix it so that people aren't going to overwrite it. So you want to make sure that that information is immutable. So either use some kind of immutable holder for the calendar, or use some other way of representing it, or create a separate instance each time, which is, I'm just going to leave it like that for now. Make sense? Okay, so then when we're doing our button listeners, we're going to chain the interaction here. When the rows button is pressed, call notify sunrows, which in turn is going to notify any listeners that are attached. Similar for set button, call notify sunset, which will notify the listeners at that point. Make sense? So now let's actually create somebody who cares. So here's a student that we're going to have, and all the student's going to do is just write down in his log when the sun rose and when the sun set, so that later on he can use that information to create his graph. So each of these students, I'm going to give them a name. Should have made that static. Not like it really matters here. I'll give him a name, and then when the sun rises, so when he's notified that the sun has risen, he's going to print it out. When he's notified the sun is set, he's going to print that out. And now in the assignment class here, we're going to create instances of each of those students. So we have these